Welcome, everybody. This is Sarah with Marketing is Not Selling, and today I've got a very special guest for you on the vlogcast. This is Janelle Lara, and she is a style expert for both men and women, although she primarily works more with women in dressing properly to be taken seriously in the workplace. And let me tell you, this woman is absolutely amazing. We initially met at Jen Scalia and Rachel Luna's mastermind in Orlando it was probably about what, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago? And it was really cool because I was the first person in the room, so I got to see everybody else come in. And it was really interesting to see the variation of everybody who came in. I mean, like, I was wearing a really nice top with heels, but I also was wearing jeans, which are kind of like my go-to thing, but they don't have holes in them or anything like that. They're very professional looking. They look more like pants, but they're very comfortable for me. And knowing that we were having like an 8-hour sit there and, talk about sales and everything else kind of crazy, I knew I wanted to be comfortable. I thought it was rather weird that a couple people actually showed up in like sweatpants.
Yeah.
And with
a business, like potentially like a networking function. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will be completely honest. When they showed up like that, I was just kind of like, I'm not sure I would do business with them. I mean, it's one thing if you're at home and you're just working on like a sales page or something like that, where you're not really talking to people that, maybe you want to be super comfy. I mean, come on. I live in Florida. There are days I work in shorts and a tank top, but anything that requires like face-to-face or, even on days when I know I'm going to be talking to clients, I get dressed up in my really nice pants, put on heels, do my hair, do my makeup, instead of just throwing my hair up into a ponytail and stuff like that, because it makes me feel more professional. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring on Janelle today, because, we hear about all these stories about, oh, you can work at home in your pajamas and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that's really a myth that needs some serious busting. And y'all know me, it's all about busting up the myths. So
I love that.
Give us a little bit of background on what you do, how you do it, and why this is so incredibly important.
Sure. So my story starts actually in education. So I'm a former teacher. I worked my way up to assistant principal. And while I was assistant principal, I wasn't making much more money as I was as a teacher. Your husband's a teacher, right? So you know how underpaid we are. So I really didn't upgrade my wardrobe. I just kept coming to school like a teacher. And I worked for a principal who wore a tie every day. And there was definitely, obviously the male woman thing was already there. But then him dressing professionally and me dressing like a little bit more casually, definitely there was a discrepancy in the power there. And I really got bullied by him. I eventually left that position and I found out I was pregnant. So I decided not to go back into the field of education. And I realized that I hated wearing my maternity clothes. So the moment that I came home, I put all my maternity clothes away only to find I had no clothes that fit.
Wow.
So that was a mistake. But what I ended up doing was I hired a personal stylist, and basically it was an amazing experience. It was so self-care because I couldn't go shopping. I had a newborn. So she did all the shopping for me, chose all the clothes, and I have never looked back. So, I realized that this was such an amazing form of self-care for moms. And that it was just really important. So I actually became a stylist for moms. And then since then, my line of work has transformed a little bit. I've pivoted now into, now I run a program called, I'm not going to do the plug-in yet, but I run a program for female entrepreneurs, and style and image is a huge, huge part of that. But yeah, so I have a plethora of experiences, but definitely image is a huge component of giving you the confidence to pursue whatever it is you want to pursue.
Fantastic. And I just love how it's something that you're so incredibly passionate about. It's something that affected you personally, because I really think that, as small business owners, when we go through and we start thinking about the products and services that we want to offer, it really needs to connect with us in addition to connecting with our customers. Otherwise, you're not going to enjoy what you're doing. And I just absolutely love that you saw that discrepancy. You saw that you were being treated differently and how you were able to, start a business with it. And I totally understand about pivoting, but you're still taking that and bringing it in, which is fabulous. I just absolutely love that. So tell us about, like I mentioned earlier, about the big myth of working at home from your pajamas.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit of ideas about your opinion on that particular myth.
Sure. So I am definitely, I'm not against working, if you have to get some work done. So like this morning, I think is a perfect story. So my daughter went to bed very late last night, which means I went to bed late last night. And so this morning it was like a flurry. I had a client call at 9 a.m. So I just had to like rush in, get it done. And I did not have a chance to change. And when Sarah said like, oh, this is a vlog, not just a podcast, I was like, oh my gosh, I need 10 minutes to get myself together. But that's the point that I'm leading to, is that I think a lot of business owners hide, and they're like, oh, I work from home. So they hide behind that filter, when the truth of the matter is that nowadays, like, you can't just be the copywriter. Like, you need to be on video, you need to be on vlogs, you need to be on lives, like you need to be visible. And when you are in your pajamas all day and that's the way you're used to working, you're not going to get dressed up just to do a live, like who has time for that? So then you put it off and you say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it later, and that really is detrimental for your progress as a business owner. So yeah, no, I definitely, I think it's a myth. Like, you don't get your best work done in your pajamas, and it's like scientifically proven. There's studies showing that. So
Absolutely. And that is so incredibly true too. Yeah. That's exactly what we're doing when we're working in our pajamas. We are hiding from the rest of the world. And you are absolutely correct on that. I mean, and what's the biggest thing that's going to kill any business? Complacency.
Yeah.
And by hiding behind, your work at home type of stuff, like I'm working from home, you can see in the background, I'm actually working in my living room, which is really cool because it's interesting. I got a clock, over here that's from the 1700s, which is awesome. I stop it so that you don't hear it going off, during podcast interviews and stuff like that. But I also realized that, if I'm going to do something as a business owner, especially, this actually plays into considerably why I do a video podcast instead of just an audio podcast. I hate being on video. I do. I don't really know how to do makeup. I don't really know how to do style or anything about that. I'm fairly analytical that way. I'm creative with design, but I'm not creative with like how I dress. I mean, like I'm even wearing just a basic shirt today. It's still a really nice shirt. I mean, it's Ferrari. It has to be a nice shirt.
Yeah, it has to be.
But at the same time, it's not a t-shirt, it's not a tank top, but it's not, super formal either. So for me, this says, okay, I'm comfortable. I can definitely get to work, but I'm not hiding either, which is why, I decided to do the vlogcast instead of an audio one, because I realized I need to get out there just like every other business owner. I've got to do something that can, establish myself as different. And I think one of the ways that we can do that, especially like when we're talking to potential clients, instead of talking to them just over the phone, I mean, yes, we can use cell phones all day long. But I think if we take the time to do something more along the lines like this, where you and I are talking via video,
right,
you really get to know the person. You get to see how they react. Instead of, me doing an audio podcast with Janelle this morning and just doing it strictly audio, you can tell if I'm playing around with my phone, while she's trying to answer the questions.
Right.
I get to see how incredibly lit up and excited she is to talk about this. I really get to, really feel it instead of just listening to it.
Yes.
But on the other hand, that also means that, yes, I have to wear makeup. I have to do my hair right. I don't have to go overboard. It's not, I'm not going out to some
Grammy
or something,
Right,
but I still have to dress myself appropriately. And I really think that that's super important. And I'm so glad that you're doing this, even though you're pivoting your business a little bit by still incorporating that. I think is so incredibly important. So important. So I am just
you.
hands off to you. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. So
Thank you so much. Yeah, I just want to add that what you were saying earlier about being visible and not being complacent. The truth of the matter is that people want to do business with a person. People don't want to do business with a logo. They don't want to do business with a website. Yep. And so if you are visible to the point where even if you are on the phone with someone, they have seen your videos before. They've seen the way that you interact. So at least they kind of have an idea of your mannerisms, of, of your personality. I think that's really important.
Absolutely. So here's another question for you. For entrepreneurs that work at home, or maybe even have just a small business that's outside of the home, how would you suggest being able to spice up their wardrobe just a little bit without spending a ton of money? I mean, because most small business owners, cash flow is one of the biggest things that we have to deal with, which sometimes means that we can't go out and, buy new clothes every 6 months and things of that nature. What are some of the must-have items, especially for women, that we really should have in our closet for, being able to go to networking events, meeting with clients, hiring or firing employees, things along those lines?
Absolutely. So one of them I'm wearing right now, and that is a jean jacket. So layers are very, very important, and covering your shoulders, I think, is very important in a business context.
Can I ask you why? Why cover the shoulders? Why are not thick strap cami style tops?
The reason why, particularly if you do business with men, is because the more scientifically proven, the more skin that you're showing, the more they are likely to, they're more likely to perceive you as an object.
Gotcha. Okay. See, that is super, super, super important.
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is why I had her on. I had no idea. I wear a lot of sleeveless shirts because we're here in Florida, but now I'm going to start looking for shirts that, that actually have sleeves.
Exactly. No, the one you're wearing right now is perfect. It's very conservative and you look very professional. And I'm not saying that you have to dress conservatively. I'm just saying, particularly if you're working with men, you want to cover the shoulders and cover, any skin that you wouldn't normally, pretty much if you don't see it under a suit, then, or when someone's wearing a suit, you don't necessarily want to show it. I think it's interesting that men's professional wear is so much more covered up than women's professional wear. And there's definitely a reason for that. So yeah, so definitely that. So a jean jacket is great because it's light here in Florida. It's not bad at all. And plus, most places they really blast the air conditioning. So if I'm working inside, I'm totally fine working in my jean jacket. So that's one thing. And it's a comfy casual. It's not too stuffy or corporate.
Yeah, it can be, it's stylish without being stuffy and overbearing or too serious, but a little bit of fun, but still professional. Absolutely. Yeah,
exactly. So for networking events, definitely a pair of heels. So yeah, heels are definitely important. Again, they give you that stature. You walk differently. You carry yourself differently in heels. They don't have to be stilettos, right? They can just have, now the chunky heel is really back in. So it could just be 2-inch chunky heels. And that just gives you, like I said, that stature, causes you to stand up straight, and really just gives you that presence. That's really important. And then
I want to add, let me interrupt you 1 second here. I want to add something that's really important that a lot of women don't think about. Those that do choose to wear stilettos, I usually wear stilettos because the chunky heels don't feel right because I've got extremely high arches, so they don't feel right. But there is a limit as far as too high of a heel, okay? If you're wearing 4-inch stilettos, that's too high, people, okay? Seriously, women. Unless you want to be looked at, like Janelle said, as an object, stick to something a little bit smaller. You really don't need 4 or 5-inch heels that have your little toes peeping out, because then you're going to look like a hooker.
Right. Right.
And that's how people are going to perceive you. They're not going to take you as a serious business owner. So I had to mention that.
Exactly. Think CEO, right? That's what you have to keep in mind. And I think women a lot of times too, they don't perceive themselves as CEOs, even if they own a company. I'm like, that's literally what you do. You're the executive officer.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Awesome. So we've got heels, we've got jean jackets. What's another, to give us one more go-to item that we should have in our wardrobe?
Sure. So I actually have two. The first one is if this is your style, definitely like a professional dress, because dresses are just so easy. It's one piece, you throw it over, you zip it up, and they can very easily be professional. So an easy dress, professional, that you can just zip up, put on your heels, and boom, you're out the door to a networking event. Or conversely, if you're not a dress person, then definitely like a nice pair of slacks, I would definitely say, because just throwing on slacks and, a nice top and a jean jacket, like you're good to go. That's a great work from home outfit. Or if you're going to a networking event, that's fine too. So.
Okay. And by slacks, we're not talking about leggings, people. We're not talking leggings. Now, I will say, if you're wearing like a sweater type dress that goes down almost to your knees, leggings are okay. All right. But otherwise, nobody wants to see a t-shirt and leggings with the belt that you throw on. It just, no.
Yeah, that's not professional. No. I mean, if you're out at the park with your kids, maybe, but not in a business context.
Yeah, definitely not in a business context. Definitely. I mean, if you need a nice shirt with some nice jewelry or something because you're doing a video interview like we're doing here where you only see from the waist up, yeah, go ahead, wear leggings if you really want to.
Right.
Yeah, nobody needs to see that.
Definitely not. No.
Absolutely. Here's another question for you. Because you do styling for people, what should people look for in possibly, hiring a stylist to help outfit them? So like for me, I have like zero style whatsoever. And I know this. My husband is actually a fantastic stylist. He's great. So when I actually go shopping, I bring him along and I'll be like, okay, how about this shirt? How about this shirt? And he'll be like, if he hesitates, then I know that it's a no. But if he says, then I know it's okay, but he doesn't really like it. But sometimes he's found some stuff. He's like, yeah, you need that. And I'm just like, I think it's ugly. And he's like, but it looks good on you.
Right.
Like, all right, I'll try it. And then, those pieces grow on me. But so if I was going to hire a stylist, a professional stylist like yourself, what are some of the things, that I should look for? Some of the questions that I should ask while talking to you about doing this for me?
Of course. So I think the most important thing is to look at the people that they've styled in the past.
Okay.
And the reason being is that some people say that they don't take their own style into consideration, but they do. And so you need to make sure that the people that they've styled in the past are wearing outfits that resonate with you, and they're not completely, outside of what you would want to wear. Because like I said, stylists definitely take their own personal style into consideration. And that if that's not your style, then you're not going to end up liking what you bring home.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm so excited. So as you're growing in your own business now, you mentioned to me earlier that you're starting to pivot just a little bit, which is extremely important. I mean, you have to pivot in business in order to stay in business, in order to stay profitable. So tell us a little bit more about how you're taking this styling and you're bringing it into this new business concept and program that you've got going.
Yes. So I pivoted because the truth of the matter is that I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and that's really my passion. Even though I love style, I'm very good at style, it's not my passion. I struggle to talk about clothes all day, every day. So I needed something a little bit more intellectually stimulating. So I actually created a program called 90 Days to 10K. And basically I help career women turn their side hustle into a six-figure business. A part of that includes their style and their kind of like their image and branding. But really it's just helping like service-based entrepreneurs really build a business that can offer them financial freedom, but also brings specifically moms home to their kids. Because there's so many like women who are working in corporate, and even the ones that I met while I was styling, and they are just working all these hours and they're wearing these stuffy suits and all they want to do is be home with their kids, so I'm really helping them experience that financial freedom while being at home, and making 10K monthly. So
awesome. And do you have an official program, or do you just simply do it through like a series of coaching sessions?
Yeah. So right now it's a little bit of both. It's one-to-one, but then there's also like a program aspect to it. Pretty soon we're going to be bringing in a group aspect. So I'm looking forward to what's next.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Well, Janelle, I am so grateful that you came on my little vlogcast and shared your nuggets of wisdom with us, because I mean, this is something that, when I go to events, it just resonates with me because I see people that are not dressed properly. And I'm like, yeah, you don't have to be in suits, but you could try just a little bit, just try a little harder. So I just think that it's so important that we, spread the word on this. And I just wanted to say thank you for taking some time out of your schedule, which I know is busy, especially with a baby who is absolutely adorably cute.
Thank you.
And I thank you very much. This has been very enlightening, and I hope that even the guys out there can learn to, maybe if they start seeing like their wives or girlfriends or business companions and associates, they can maybe offer them a little bit of advice to say, hey, you need to dress up if you want to step up your game. So.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for having me, Sarah. I was glad to be here.
I'm so glad that you were able to make it. And for all of you that are listening and watching, if you want to check out the links below, I've got links so that you can schedule a session with Janelle, either on personal styling or to also learn more about her 90 days to 10K program, which, by the way, is fabulous. You seriously need to check it out. If you're not making at least, 5 to 10,000 a month on your hustle, then you don't have a business. You have a hobby. Okay, so let's go have some fun with that. And you can always check her out on social media as well. I'll post all of the links down below. And we will see you next time on Marketing is Not Selling. Thanks so much, Janelle.
Thank you.